Welcome, everyone, to another fun night. Katie and I are so glad to be back and live with you this Wednesday night. We were out of town last Wednesday and we miss seeing everyone. Hopefully, our absence wasn't missed too much, but we are definitely excited to be back and be tying and hang out with everyone. So, Katie, what all do we have on tap tonight?
Well, tonight we're gonna look at some of the caddises that some of the folks out there tied over the last couple of weeks since we last saw you, and we're gonna go back over our upcoming giveaway, and some of the items that we're going to be giving away. And after that, we're going to tie Leggy Kate, and maybe talk about what we're going to tie next week.
That's right. Now, the Leggy Kate is a pretty cool fly. It's one that Katie and I've been tying for a little while. And Katie, will you reset this so I can see the comments, please, ma'am? But while she's doing that, we tied this one like 3-4 years ago, and Equisnan or Nan sent us this pattern, said that it's a good one. She really liked it, so we tied it up, and it Davie McPhail has a good tutorial on this fly, and we've been tying it for the past few years, and it's just a fun fly to tie, and it's a fun. Hello, Nikki, and hello, Mike. It's a fun pattern to tie. It's a great pattern to fish. I believe Dan catches a lot of bass with it on her local waters. It works good. Hey, Bill, it works good for us, even up in the Smokies. We'll change the colors and shrink it down a little bit, but it works good as a dropper as well. So just real quick, the materials we're going to be using. We're going to use the brand new Ahrex Freshwater 563. We're going to use a size 12 and a size 14 for the hook. For thread, we're going to use red Semperfli 12-aught classic wax thread. And
we won't tell.
That's why I'm not telling anyone that you catch trout. No one knows you catch trout on it too. Bluegill, who knows what else. We're going to be using some golden pheasant crest on some different colors. We're going to even use a red one, or excuse me, hot orange. We're going to use some French oval tinsel and small, some of the Semperseal dubbing, and some hackle and some legs. That's about it. So I'm trying to think what else. So for those of y'all who've been watching the past few months, we're going to do a giveaway when we hit 600 followers. And hey, Freddie, and we're only, I think, 38 or so. I don't think we'll get there next Wednesday, but we will get there pretty soon. To enter, all you need to do is comment after the video's over, comment on the video itself. Or a lot of you all, we love seeing the flies you tie up your variation of this fly. Use hashtag Whip Wednesday. We post it over on Instagram so we can see it, and then Katie will show it the next week like she's getting ready to do. And the winner is going to receive this Umpqua HD standard foam fly box, and this one has as you can see, Katie's going to do it. So this one has the flies that we tied the past 2 weeks, because that's how long we've been there you go, that's how long we've been doing this this little giveaway. So these flies plus the flies we tied tonight, and probably the flies we tied next Wednesday night. And Katie is going to show some other goodies that are going to be got.
Well, don't forget that Gary Barnes is going to be giving away a gift certificate, correct?
That is correct. $25 gift certificate for Gary Barnes, and you can order any Semperfli materials and lots of good stuff.
And also tell them what they're getting from Angler's Coffee.
So Angler's Coffee, you can get a nice little coffee cup and 2 bags of their coffee. So depending on what your tastes are, depending on what you like to drink, you'll get two bags of coffee from Angler's Coffee. So that is super cool. And the guys over at Smitty's Fly Box are giving away that partridge skin.
Here it is.
So you get this cool little partridge skin as well. So Hungarian partridge can be hard to come by at times, but it is not a cheap product. So we're pumped that Smitty's Fly Box is giving that away. So
It'll be fun.
So, yep. So, yeah, just comment on this video after we post it or tag hashtag Whip Finish Wednesday over on Instagram. And that'll get you entered to win.
And so let's not forget about 2 weeks ago, you
Yep.
tied an ex-caddis. And we did have a few pictures from Instagram that were posted by some of you guys. This is Gary Caldwell's caddis and Bill for shears.
Yep. So Bill did a great job on that one. That was nice and bushy, and that's got a really nice silhouette. I like that extra bugginess of it. So good job, Bill. And Bill's on here right now. So good job, Bill.
And this is Jay Wilson.
Nice little trio action.
A trio.
That's right.
And I think we had a few more. Jimmy.
Old Jimmy Roop.
He had a trio as well.
And he's got a nice ribbing through that one.
Yeah.
Everyone on Instagram, I actually did not forget to holler at to log on this time.
Hey, Christine, if you're on there, I think these are yours.
Yep. Christine's got hers on there. She almost, I thought it was like, gosh, that was a late entry. And then we had one more.
Yeah, and D Bishop.
Old D Bishop, Dawn.
Nice and buggy, like.
And Gary Hanna entered or did one just about 30 minutes ago. I don't know if you had a chance to get those on. If not, sorry, Gary. You what?
Gary, I thought you said it was Gary Caldwell.
It was Caldwell Fork. Gary Hanna.
Yeah. That's what I've got right here. Those are his.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Good job, Gary. Everyone on Instagram, come over and check us out on YouTube. You'll be able to see a little bit better. I'll zoom in once you start tying, but we'd love to see you hop over on YouTube. You'll be able to see a lot better and hear a lot better as well. And so you're welcome, Bill. What's up, Jeff? And what's up, Stay Fly? So since we took a break last week, since we weren't here, I'm kind of out of the swing of things. So hopefully I'll be able to get caught back up. So what's up, Fishers Flies?
Hey, is it the Ides of March?
Is it the Ides of March? I don't know, but we'll. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to tying here. Unless I'm forgetting anything, you guys can tell me if I've forgotten something. There we go. Instagram zoomed in, and we're ready to go. So, like I said, we're going to use we're going to do either 2 or 3 variations of the fly. We're going to do the one that I posted. It's pretty close to the original version, which is this size 12 version of the Leggy Kate McLaren. And then we'll do a size 14. We'll make that one more of a bright, more of a yellow one to go with. So we'll see if we have time, we might do a third one that would be a purple one. So we'll take this one out of the vise and we'll switch over to size 14s for the fun of it. I'm going to put this one in a special box for Ryan because I told him I would. So that one's going there. So thanks, Ryan, for the reminder. And I'm going to turn this light on as well because it always makes it easy to tie when you're looking straight down at the light. All right, so this is the brand new Ahrex Freshwater 563. It's a barbless, they call it a short nymph hook. It's more like a regular nymph hook. You can use a wet fly hook if you want. This is a wet fly, so wet fly hook would be very good. I just really like the profile of this hook. It's definitely a modern hook. And it's got the thicker wire. The shank's not too short. It's just right. So get that one loaded in there nice and straight. How many times is it going to take me to get it straight? That should be good. All right. So if you haven't seen these hooks, they're kind of plain looking, but for just a standard nymph, for Frenchies, for soft hackles, for lots of different just standard patterns, this is an awesome hook. I would say your fly shops probably don't have them, but ask for them. If having the light on doesn't seem to make much difference to us if you want to turn it off. Well, when I put my hand on top like this, and I'm tying, that's when the light really helps out because you can see, go back to the hook. You can see, you can't really see the hook as much. And if I take the light away, you really can't see it. So But thank you there. I appreciate the.
Is he talking about the square light?
Yep. Howie's just trying to watch out for us, make sure we're not.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just I can't see anything anymore. I have like little lights everywhere.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to use the this. Well, there. Oh, which way are we going to go to? There we go. I'm going to use the golden pheasant tippet, and this is natural, so this is a nice, pretty bright yellow. If you don't have this, that's fine. You can use whatever you want to. Even floss, just nice floss, yellow floss tail would be fine. This is just the one that's pointed on. Yeah. This is just one of the things that makes the pattern kind of fancy. But as far as like, don't, that's one thing. If you're somewhat new to watching this show, one thing that we're kind of big on is don't sweat it if you don't have the exact materials. This is one of those things. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. Just use what you got, and floss is fine. But as you see, I pulled off this one feather. It's got a nice curve on it. Now let's switch over to the hook, please, ma'am. There we go. So as you can see, that kind of curves up. That's why we want to tie it in. I want it to be roughly the hook shank long. So I just find a good spot there. Kind of pull it, hold it, and do a nice pinch wrap. And we want to make sure that's on the top of the hook shank. And that's just a touch on the short side. So we'll redo it. No harm, no foul. And that's going to be a touch on the long side, I'll bet. Yep, but we can pull it to length. Just like we like it. There we go. See, so we got that nice tail in there. Now we're going to keep that on the top of the hook shank, wrap forward. And we want to make sure we leave enough room behind the hook eye to see this. This would be a good example how you can see how my hand kind of shades the top of it. If that bottom light wasn't on there, it'd be completely darked out. And we've had comments before. People are like, I can't see it. So now we can say I'm doing the best I can do. If you can't see it now, then I'm sorry. I'll make sure everything's all tied down. Probably didn't need to do that. The next thing we use is the small gold French oval tinsel. If you don't have oval tinsel, use wire. If you don't have wire, use whatever you want. And if you want to use silver, that's fine too. I'm just happy to be using gold. What's up, Chris? Top of the evening to you. Now we're tied in on your side. So on the far side of the hook, I'm going to tie it in. And I'm going to pull it down so I get it nice and lashed in right on that far side there. Now I'm going to bring it back up. Make sure my body is pretty well covered. Like this. And I'm trying to get that one tag in. There we go. Now we're good. All right, so all I've done is tied a tail in and tied a piece of tinsel in. And the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go to this, let's go back to the side here, honey. We're going to do the Semperseal subs, the seal substitute from Semperfli. I've got I only have box 1, 2, and 3 sitting here, and you know what? I don't want to have the right box. Dang it. Bet I've got it right here, though. There we go. I'll tell you what. There's one thing I would need. Okay, so what I'm going to do is it calls for just black, but I like kind of making it, I like to spice it up a little bit. So I'm going to get some black, pull it out. And if you don't have seal's fur or seal's fur substitute, one thing you can do, and that's why I've got it sitting out, is use floss. Use whatever color floss you want, cut some out, and then use Velcro and rough it up really good. And it works really well as a substitute. So basically what I mean is get a piece of floss, cut it off, and then we'll just start running it through Velcro to kind of break it all up. And I can go back and forth to kind of untangle it, and just keep on doing this, and then you'll have a bunch of little strands, and you can make them as long or as short as you want to. And then you can use this as your dubbing.
Can you use goat hair as a substitute for seal?
That I don't know if you use
Oh,
goat
no,
hair.
I've never seen goat hair before.
I've seen it. I don't know if that officially be a substitute for seal's fur, but I don't see why not. What's up, Truman? And Mike. What's up, Mike? Nay. So anyway, floss works fine too. Doesn't quite have the same sparkle in it, but so I've got a little bit of black. Now, this is just because I like being somewhat creative. Now I want to look at I want the dark olive, which one I used the other day. Just the brown, I think, or root beer. Excuse me. So I'm gonna pull a little bit of root beer out. This just kind of gives it a little different oomph. So I got some black and root beer, maybe a little more root beer than I really need. Kind of mix them all together. And now we're ready to go. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to break it, and just start doing kind of a thicker body here, or thicker dub noodle, because this is going to brush out and kind of get crazy, because that's the way, when it comes to dubbing noodles, we want to get as crazy as possible. Seal is transparent-ish. That's correct. So I'm going to guess that's going to be good. But as you can see, I've got a pretty thick noodle, and we'll see it in a second once I get it a little bit closer. And the color is not just black; it's kind of a. There we go. So you can see that it's got a little that root beer just comes out enough because it makes it a little bit different. So we're going to kind of put a little bit of a taper, but not much. I don't like that at all. See if I can get by with this one. There we go. Pull everything back. Don't have quite enough room there. So like I was saying a minute ago, make sure you're careful not to go too far. And you see where I started my thread there, where that little bit of the tippet's coming out right there. It's kind of a point. I definitely do not want to go past that point. And I did. I noticed that. So I was like, I'll undo that. Because Chris knows about it because anyone, if something's going to go wrong, it'll go wrong when you're live. And I don't want to increase any chances of messing stuff up. All right. So that should be fine. Maybe a little close, but all I did there is just put a little bit of thread body on. So you can see we've got a nice little, just a body on there. Nothing fancy. So I've got a saddle feather, and this is a black. It's got some little speckling on here, but just a black saddle feather. Once again, not too fancy, and it is oversized for the hook. What's up, Dead Drift Fishing? And what's up, Felipa? So as you can see, my hackle's a little bit oversized for this. That's what we want. We don't want it to be the hook gap. We want it to be somewhat oversized. And this is kind of cool because last week or 2 weeks ago, we tied the caddises. This is the same technique we use for that. Later on, when we do just a regular stimulator, this is the same thing. But when we tie this in, so my point is a lot of these techniques we're going over, they'll be reused in other flies. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the feather straight up and down. Can you all see that? I wish you could see it better. No, I need to sit up straight. Go back to the hook. There we go. I'll get a scientific angle in the background. So I'm going to cross it over and get one wrap. Then I'm going to bring my thread on the eye side of the butt. 1 or 2 sets of legs. I'm going to do 3 on each side. I don't know if that makes sense, Nan. Then we'll bring my thread back around. So I've done a cross on that on the stem, and I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna catch that that hackle fiber. So now it's completely locked in. Not a big tie-in point, just a few wraps of thread, and we're good. So get one full wrap right here, that hackle. And now I'm just going to bring it back. Now, the reason I said this is kind of good practice is because with those caddis's and with stimulators and everything, a lot of times we're worried about catching the fibers. So we got that done. We're worried about catching the fibers with our wire. We're using really thin wire. And I'm like, well, the best thing to do is just pretend like you don't have hackle in there as you're wrapping. So I'm going to grab and this is like a lot thicker than wire. And if you see, it's the same thing. I'm just going to bring it over. I want to make these wraps evenly spaced. As you can see, I'm catching a few things here and there, but not many. There we go. Couple wraps. Pull tight. Oh, get on the right side. There we go. All right, so now we'll cut this off. We'll cut our feather off. If you want to, you could rip and break it off, but I prefer not to do that. So I'm afraid on that one that I'd hurt something. I'm going to bring my thread back. It's going to kind of fold those hackle fibers back just a little bit. That's good. And now we've got, other than that one stray right here, and we'll do this again with a lighter color so you can see it better. But as you can see, we just have have the tail and we've got the hackle palmered through, and it's pretty easy. Now, with that Semperseal, just grab some Velcro. This really shows how we just created a really good fly, because I want to really rough this up. It's almost like I'm combing the hair being the hackle, all that. So it's kind of interesting because the more I do this, the better the hackle looks. I mean, it just kind of gets it all going nice and everything. And there we go. So we've got that. And if it goes back a little far, those are just the seal fibers. So there we go. That's what we're going for. And the next thing I want to do is pull out some knotted. I'm cheating. I realize that we could do a whole little show on how to knot these. But if you can find somewhere that you can just buy a whole set of this, like this little stem right here, that'll last you quite some time. If this was 10 or 15 bucks, it's worth it, just so you don't have to worry about knotting them yourself. There are some tools you can get. I was talking with Freddie's Flies last night about it, and I can knot them okay. My problem is getting all the knots lined up in relatively the exact same spot. So when I you'll notice I'm going to grab three. Sorry, I'm going to grab three fibers off the feather, and the knots are relatively the same spot. I've got a problem when I put my knots in, that if I've got multiple fibers, the knots don't line up the same spot. So since I'm not very good at it, and it's very time consuming, we're not going to show that right now. But this was I think they've discontinued. This was a Semperfli double knee knotted pheasant tail for legs. I don't think they've got those anymore, but when I rough up the dubbing, I pull the tinsel off. When you rough up the dubbing, you pull the tinsel off. Well, maybe I would say rough up too hard, but otherwise I'd be tying legs for days. Yep. Jim, pretty sure it's James. I don't know what to tell you. Mine doesn't come off. Make sure that when you're wrapping the tinsel, if you look at it's basically like a cotton core that has the shiny like metal material wrapped around it as a spiral. If you're wrapping, and you can have a tendency to untwist that, so the metal, the shiny wrapping of the tinsel is coming unwrapped, so it will not look as good and could possibly tear out easier. So you want to make sure that when you have your let's go find my piece. Here we go. Let's go to the fly itself. So you can see those little teeny tiny segments there. So that's that metal stuff, or whatever the shiny tinsel is wrapped around it. So if I untwist it, I'm not sure which way I'm going. See how it's they're unwrapping. See that? See how it's unwrapping and see how it's coming apart. See, like I literally just pulled it apart by unwrapping it. So I've got that tinsel material coming off. So what I'm saying, Jim, is if as you're wrapping, if it's coming more and more loose like that, and then you go to rough it up with the dubbing with a piece of Velcro, that could catch and definitely could come undone. So after you get it tied in, make sure it's twisted up nice and tight when you're wrapping it, because that'll offer protection so that Velcro's not get in there. That's my 2 cents. Rough the dubbing up perpendicular to the hook, maybe. Yep, maybe. And whoever commented before Steve, I looked up and I forgot your comment.
Joe said, "Is that turkey?"
This is not. I don't know what you're talking about, but no, this is not turkey. I don't think I've used any turkey yet. So let's get these legs on here. So I'm going to grab 3 legs from each side. So I got 3 here. Pull those off, and you can tie these in together or tie them in. Same time, I'll go ahead and tie them in together. So 3, and I'll just line them up here. Line these up here. Don't make a big deal about it. Just slap them on here. So I've got both of them done. I'm going to check my length on the back side, because feathers sometimes are not the same length on either side of the stem. So if I line up my butt ends, like if I line up right here, the tips won't be lined up. So I want to actually look and see the tips themselves. That looks pretty lined up. So I'm going to put 2 wraps in, 1, 2. Check what they look like. Grab my fibers. Pull around. That's looking pretty good. Another wrap in there to secure that. If you want to, you can break them off one at a time like this. But we'll just cut them off just because I'm feeling adventurous. Just going to make sure that gets covered up so I don't mess up my head. And pull all that back again and bring this back. All right, so you see I've got those. See how it kind of looks like Batman or something. Yeah, these, if that's what you're asking, these are that's a pheasant tail. So all you would need to do is just get like a regular pheasant tail here and knot them. Or just use, you don't have to knot them. It just kind of makes it look cool. Makes it look like grasshopper legs. But if you can see, each one of these fibers has 2 knots in it. So you can see that each, like, knot here, knot here, knot here, knot here, knot here, knot here. And they're all kind of lined up in the same spot. That's what I have a problem with, is trying to get my knots to line up with each other. But you can definitely knot them yourself. It's not a big deal. It just, for me, goodness gracious. I've got to mow the yard sometime, and I think if I was sitting here for an hour trying to knot a thing of pheasant tail legs, Katie would shoot me. All right, last material we're going to use on this one. What's up, fly fishing fireman? How can I modify this fly to look like a crawfish for carp? Huh. Well, that's I would add some weight on it and maybe change the colors up a little bit on it, but it kind of depends. But I'd add some weight so it's sunk on the bottom quite a bit more. So, okay, let's switch over to the side view here. And Mike, you might, or fly fishing fireman, come, and everyone on Instagram for that matter, all 5 of you, you'll be able to see a lot better if you're over on YouTube. So come check us out on YouTube. We're live right now there. We've got 4 different cameras, and you can see 10,000 times better. If not, we'll give you your money back. So I've got, this is a 4B cape from Whiting Farms. This is in Greenwell. Just for a teaser, here's a new one that I got that is fluorescent yellow. This fluorescent yellow chartreuse. Yeah, we'll use that one on the next one, and then maybe a purple one. Or maybe we'll do the purple one first. So begins the torture of nodding. Yeah, so begins the torture of nodding. Yep, that's right. So,
looks like it's working.
Okay.
It's just kind of slow. It's lagging over there.
Okay, my TV is lagging, so
and he keeps like silently waving his arms, and I'm like, I can't make the TV do anything.
Well, I know, but it's right now. It's on. See, it's on that, and it's been on this side for a while. It's just not catching up.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You can just tell me what I'm missing. Okay, so I'm gonna film this. I'm just checking the size first, and then, as you can see, I'm gonna put this on around the hook here. Let me. I guess I'll reach over and. There we go. I want this to be that size. So I don't want it to go past the tail. I want to go somewhere between where the tail starts and, the back, roughly the bend of the hook, roughly. So I pull this off. I've got my feather here. All I'm going to do is strip off the fuzzies, because we like saying strip off the fuzzies. And pull this down. I really don't need a whole lot of hackle, but pull this. There's two ways to do it. I'll show you the way that I like to do it. It's maybe not quite as clean of a tie off, but it's much more secure. So I take this whole piece here, and how you can see that the bottom of that feather, that's something you wouldn't see without this bottom light, unfortunately. I do that first wrap, and then I pull it just a little bit. Do another wrap, and then I'd use my fingers and I pull everything back. And I put probably 3 nice tight wraps in there. So now right here, you can see the, there we go. You can see the tip right here. If I want to, I can just grab it and pull it and break it out like that. But if you want to, you can cut it. Whatever works best for you. And I don't really need them, but I'm going to grab hackle pliers and take some of this off. And I'm probably put about 3 to 4 wraps in here. So when I'm making my little V, so you see I just pulled that back. I will pull my fingers back a little bit, but I like to move the feather through my fingers more than my fingers to the feather. And that just makes your tie-in point, you're not pulling quite as hard on your tie-in point. So there's, minimizing the chances of your feather pulling out by doing that. So as I'm wrapping this, they're just side-by-side turns. I just want to make sure that, and if 1 or 2 fibers sticks out, that's fine. But just pulling everything back as I wrap. So now we'll go ahead and take this off here, make it a little bit cleaner. Bring this up, get back there, put a couple wraps in. Now we can cut this out. All right, so I'll pull everything back, and I'll form our little head, kind of wrapping back over the hackle just a pinch. There we go. You can see that's got a nice silhouette. It's super buggy. Got some nice colors in there. Some good hot spots that should be seen quite a bit. Do our whip. Now is Mark on here chasing feathers? Or is Chris still on here?
Chris was on it earlier.
Is anyone on here that just can't stand purple? Or do we want to do a yellow one? Purple's really kind of plain. I've never fished the purple one, but I'm sure it wouldn't work at all. But the yellow one does work well. So we can do either one. I'm going to try this new yellow. I didn't realize it was yellow chartreuse, but do this new yellow, the hackle. But if you prefer, we can do purple. Either one's fine.
Jeff Riley said, nope.
Nope. What?
Maybe nope.
No,
Nope.
Chris is not here. No, someone's not here. Or no. Okay, so here we go.
Hey, Ken B, how you
there's our
doing?
done Australian fly. Since our Australian buddy's back, so I'm gonna put this in the fly box for the giveaway. So we'll throw that in there, and we'll get started on a slightly dark one. Let's do
Chris Harris said purple doesn't work.
No, it does not. I figured he would chime in and give his 2 cents, but we'll start off with the yellow one because now that I'm not having to explain so much, I might be able to get 3 in, probably 2, but maybe 3. Okay, so we're going to keep with the red color or the red thread. This is the size 14, so we're a touch smaller, just a touch. But this is the same Ahrex Freshwater 563. Check it out. It is it's a good one. And remember, just like before, leave that gap because you saw how it kind of saved me. Son of a baloney. It saved me. Chris, there you go. No, we don't break our thread. So when I say save that gap, like see how where I'm starting my thread, that's kind of my point that I don't want to go past with my dubbing or anything because that's where I'm going to tie 2 hackle feathers and legs in. So we're going to switch over to the hot orange pheasant crest. Exact same thing, just different color. Hey, Gray Ghost. It's like steelhead fish in the area. Oh, what's up, Ryan? Look at this, Ryan. Since you can actually see, and you know you're on Instagram. And Instagram, guys, if you have not checked us out on YouTube, we're live on YouTube. We'll see a lot better. But for you, Ryan, it's backwards just for that. So you've got the additional flies in there. And it literally has your name on it. Literally. So, all right.
Yeah, Truman says pink don't work either.
Pink. Nope. Okay, so I'm going to take the hard part about using the golden pheasant crest is pulling off only one feather. Because I'm bad. I'll think I've got one, and then I pull out, and I pulled out 4. I'm like, son of a gun. And then that's where Katie just gets so excited when she finds random feathers. I'm like, don't throw that one away. That's a good one.
But now I'll be like, do you want this? You can keep this. You need this? You want me to save this? And they're little pieces of feathery stuff that I find everywhere. I ask you for everything now, right?
That's right. Absolutely. She does for sure. All right. So this is kind of interesting. So I've got it here on the hook, and you can see how this one is. See, I told you I'd get multiple ones. Let's switch over to the hook. So this one's kind of wavy. You can see that. See, it's got a little wave in it.
That's such a pretty color.
Oh, yes. So what I want to do is I want to get it to where when I tie it in right here, the tip is going the way I want it. So you see how it's kind of going to the side here. Oh boy. Pull this over. I don't care if the twist, see how the butt end of it is going all whopper jawed right here. That's just because we're finagling it to work. But once I get this tied in, that might be a touch long, but hey, it'll work. So now look at the tail. See how the tail's centered on top? It's going the way we want to, and that was kind of a squirrely feather. So you just kind of have to work with it. I'm going to stick with that tinsel, but where I was undoing that one, I'm going to pull off a new piece. And I cut that one off kind of short, so I'll be just one piece and done on this one. All right, same thing. We'll put it on the side. And the main reason I'm doing it to the side like this, you know what I did? I went too far back. This is not a very long bug. This is not like one of the normal ones where we try to almost shorten it up because I'm going to do that. My tail's going to be too long. Take a couple wraps out. This will be tricky if I get this to work. Hey, look at that. It worked. Shorten it up and move the thing back. Shocking. So what I did is my tail was a touch long, but I tied it in right where the hook bend goes down. And you see, I wanted to leave a little bit of that blank, leave a little bit of that clear. So I was like, well, we'll make it longer anyway. Then the tail will be too long. And to do finagling is, you're right, Jeff. So, Katie, where are we going to be in June?
We are going to be in an RV in Utah.
And where else in June?
We're going to be in Idaho. We're going to be in Colorado. We're going to be in Montana and all those other places out there.
Yes. Katie and I will be out in Denver, and then we're going to Utah. So any of our West Coast friends will be out there in June, running around, hanging out.
RV in it.
RV life, fishing life, whatever. Sure, some fancy word for it. How small of a hook would you use? What's your limit for this pattern? I won't say there's any limit. I mean, what are you trying to imitate? I would say 16 on this pattern. Probably the smallest I would go, Joe. But up in New York, it's a matter of what's hatching. What if you're, for me, this is more of an attractor pattern. So when I'm fishing this in the Smokies or like in still water or a lake, it's something that's kind of wiggling around. It's got a lot of buggy characteristics. That's just kind of getting the attention of a fish. So for me, a 16 is the smallest I would go, and I probably wouldn't go any bigger than 10. But the sport really 12 and 14 are the two sizes that. Son of a gun! How do I get that? I can't use that one. I've got my sparkle Davie mixed up with my Semperseal, and that is not good. Two different things.
Oh no, we're not coming to New York. Sorry. We're gonna be on the west part of America.
Fishing lakes in New York and they flipped well. All right, I'm grabbing some fluorescent yellow and just a touch of fluorescent orange. Like I said, I like to get kind of crazy with it. Because that's what we do here on Wednesday nights. We get wild.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a nice little bundle here. I want to just mix it all together. If you notice, Gary is not with us. Gary Barnes is not with us tonight. Unless he has hopped on. He is not feeling well.
Oh.
Yeah,
sorry.
no. Oh, Gary.
Poor fella.
He sent him a get well card.
I hope he'll be okay.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be fine. Let's see. Don't like it when it dog legs like that. I'm much better at small, teeny tiny flies. Throwing big gobs of dubbing on is not really my forte. But
I like that color of dubbing.
My fluorescent orange, fluorescent yellow mix.
I do.
Well, there you go.
Looks pretty cool.
All right, so we'll get this started here. There we go. Get all this on there. See what we got. Man, that is some bright stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That is super bright. So now, just because I'm so, next time we come to New York, we're hanging out with my guys at B&H. I'll tell you what. We'll have to leave our credit card at home though if we do that.
No.
That is for show. I wanted to use this.
Oops, I turned the wrong mic off to sneeze.
I think that.
Sorry, everybody.
So did you turn me off and then sneeze in your mic?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. My eyes. I know, Steve. It's a little bit bright. I promise it's not that bright with the.
Sorry, guys. It's not
to get
contagious.
everything.
It's allergies.
Have you been hanging out with Gary?
Thank you, Joe.
All right.
Yes,
so,
I caught allergies from Gary.
That's right. Okay, so I've got I'm not exactly sure if this is a grizzly dyed pale yellow, grizzly dyed golden straw, but it's a grizzly dyed yellowish color hackle. And I'm taking it, I just stripped off the bottom. You can see where I just stripped off the bottom few fibers. I'm going to cut that a little bit shorter, like that. And, oh, bless you. But, honey, you got so many bless yous. I can actually see the comments now.
It's because we have such polite people who watch this.
No kidding.
You know, they're the best of the best.
No kidding. I feel like I'm forgetting to tell you guys something. But.
Well, you forgot to say bless you.
Did I?
I don't know.
I mean, if I did, you had plenty of opportunities. There's plenty of people that you've been blessed. That's for sure.
That is for sure.
So pull this up. Now remember, I just put one wrap in there. I'm taking my thread and going in between that butt end and the hook eye. Bring it back up and bring it across. So it's two crosses to make an X. And then can you see that butt end right? Well, that's not it right there, that long piece. It's really short. I'm going to catch it. I've got it right there. Yeah, okay, right there it is. See, I'm going to catch that. One wrap. Each one of these wraps kind of pulls it up. And you just want to make sure that's not too long that it covers up the hook eye. See, my hook eye is clear.
Have a good night, Ken. Ken's having to jump off.
He's got to get back to work over in Australia. All right, so same thing. Bring this around. Do one full wrap. Now and the reason I wanted to use this one is because it's got a bit of that's got a little black in there. Have a little variegation of that. Fly fishing. She's trying to hint that you should tie a bugger fly up. Probably. All right, so we'll remember the biggest thing is just keeping these wraps even. My tensil's too short now. It's just kind of hard for me to grab onto, but keep these wraps nice and even. Bring it around, throw a couple wraps in there to hold it. Keep it kind of, don't tie it down right behind that hook eye. Don't worry about capturing fibers. So, Nan, have you tied a myriad of colors of this, or are you kind of more the stock version? Now I'm going to do this to try to pull some of these fibers back. Clean up that head just a little bit. Now we're looking okay. Not the best. So we've got a little bit scrunched down there, but I'm going to rough that up real good. Now, Jim's got me worried. I think it was Jim about messing up my tinsel. See, that also kind of lowers, not lowers is the right word for it, but smooths out any like imperfections in the tinsels or in the dubbing. So if you got like a bump or something dubbing, it just rakes it out and gets it nice and a little bit smoother. The bottom doesn't look the best. Okay. All right. So we got a nice buggy mess here. Looking good. Remember, I bought the special. I remember you looked at that black with that little bit of gold on it. totally with that because my guy at Whiting is like, hey, I've got a guy calling over here and said there's a girl that's calling and asking about this feather that you use. What is this? And I was like, remember that feather that I bought from you a long time ago? And this is what it looks like. It just says variant, but it needs the. He's like, oh yeah, I never remember that one. All right, let's see before I pull this off. Let's see how big that's going to be. It's like the right size, but I don't want to forget my legs. So, all right. So take 3 off one side, set them down, 3 off the other side. Do make sure the butt ends are lined up on that part of it though. So we'll get them on here. I'm going to cut this one off because it's maybe. Okay. So this is a little bit smaller hook, so the legs aren't really quite as long. Okay, last time I did them both together, tied them in at once. I'm going to tie them in separately. Not on purpose, just because, well, that's just the way we're going to do it. So make sure the length is right on the one side. See how those kind of look right. What company or the hackles you use? More people worked on that transaction. Yeah. The dry fly, most of these are Whiting Farms, but Joe, the biggest thing is to be able to go and either see the hackle that you're buying in person or to have a hackle guy. And that's what literally Nan's kind of joking about right now. Because if you just, I don't care if it's Whiting Farms or whatever, if you just like get online, order a whatever, if you don't see it or you don't have someone like picking it out for you to make sure it's exactly what you're looking for, then you're kind of asking, son of a gun, to mess it up. You're kind of asking, I didn't mess it up, but I'll cut it because I don't want that to happen. You're kind of asking to buy materials that you're not going to be able to use. Not that it's bad materials, but you want to make sure that they're the right size, that it's the right color. It is a natural material, so you kind of got to keep that in mind and get all the help you can get. So if you've got someone that you can talk to, they'll get it for you, and they'll go out and go in their showroom and pick you out a saddle or a cape or soft hack, whatever that meets your needs. Sorry, I got kind of carried away with that answer. Does that make sense, Joe?
That was the longest way to answer that I've ever heard.
Short answer, I'm using Whiting Farms.
Steve and Nan, they've got a guy.
All right, so this time I've got that feather I just pulled out. This time, as opposed to tying it in, supposed to tie it in, then bending it back, I'm going to cut this little tip off and leave that little triangle. This is the way you see a lot of people doing it. I'm going to cord up my thread so it's got a little more purchase or a little more bite. Capture it in like this. Bring it forward. Hopefully that's good. Remember, fold it through like this. And really, like having a good hackle person you can call on and stuff. You can say, hey, will you keep an eye out for something? Or this is not a lot of times like Walmart. You can just go in and get whatever you want. You've got to wait and you've got to order and you've got to, if it's a popular color, then a lot of times you got to pay a premium for it. If it's a rare color, if it's, don't back order forever. And that's not to say that, like, I really don't have any really good hackle places around here I can walk in. So I would say, well, 100% of our hackles have not come locally for us. Most of the time we're buying online, but we know people that work at different shops, and we can say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. And they'll say, okay.
A good
See how I
place
pulled that off?
to see hackle and stuff is to go to a fly show.
Oh yeah, you'll get lots of stuff. But as far as brands, Whiting Farms are great. Sidling Hills is a good one. Collins is a good one. Um, Probably the best brands are your buddies. If you, and I'm not talking about for dry fly hackle. Like you want to get like turkey, like rooster hackle, chicken hackle. You want to get that from a farm like Collins, like Sidling, like Whiting Farms. But a lot of soft hackles like quail and pheasant and all this stuff.
Like a guinea.
Yep, they're good to just get from get from friends. But don't think you're going to get a high quality dry fly cape. You're going to be able to tie size 20s from like your buddy that's got a chicken down the road. All right. Well, Katie, do we have time for one more? Or no? I can't see anything, so you got to tell me.
I'm just laughing at your scenario. No, we really don't have time for one more. But this would be a good time to talk about what you're going to tie next week.
Okay. Oh, thank you, honey. Oh,
I
man.
walked in last night and he tied up something. I was like, wow.
She's like, yowzers. That's pretty cool.
I was like, that is pretty neat.
That is really neat. And I'm like, well, thank you, honey. I appreciate it. And it's not that it's really neat. It's,
and I was like, well, you're welcome.
Yeah. I can't find my daggum wire. There it is. Anyone on Instagram, if you're still watching, check us out on YouTube. We're hopefully everyone's coming over and watching us there. You can see a lot better and hear a lot better, and it looks a little bit better. So here's our finished yellow version of the Leggy Kate. Oh my gosh, Edwina's Kelsey, thank you. What do you think about blue? I think blue would be great. Blue and black would be really nice. The chickens are delicious. That's right, Joe. Using the EP finger brush when I rip the tinsel off. Yeah, that might have too much. Yeah, Velcro. The EP finger brush is going to have the metal tines on it, and Velcro. The hook part of the Velcro is, and just for the heck of it, you see me use a lot of the CNF stuff, and I'm like, you don't need to buy this. It's just really nice. And I don't know how much this costs, but it's like a $50, $40 eyelash comb. But it actually works.
It is
good.
Not for your eyelashes.
No, it's not. It's for
or your eyebrows.
It is for fly tying. But I'm trying to think. Where are you? Okay, so I've got this really fancy comb here, but I put like a 10-cent piece of Velcro on the back of it. So a little hook Velcro I use on lots of different things, and we bought a huge roll of it, and we ought to put little chunks of it on our giveaway stuff, because that stuff comes in handy if you don't have any.
It's pretty neat. It's got like adhesive on the back, like really strong tape, and then you just kind of cut off what you want, stick it where you want it.
And Patrick said he got some good hen capes from Silent. I haven't tried his hen capes, but yeah, I need to get some more stuff from Evan. He's got great stuff for sure. But so we get people asking all the time, what are we going to tie next week? Can you send us some materials list? Can you do this or that or whatever? And I'm like, man, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Usually I'm not organized enough. So like Monday night, I'm like, oh gosh, I gotta tie something tonight. What am I going to do? Well, let's look at my fly box. Fly box is empty and needs this pattern. So that's what we're tying. Makes it pretty simple. Let's see, I can zoom out for Instagram so you can see it there. Makes it pretty simple because I'm just tying flies that work and that I've used. But
hey, bye, Joe. Thanks for watching.
See you, Joe. Thanks so much.
And maybe we'll make it up to New York next time in the RV.
Yeah, maybe. So last night I was messing around, and I've been trying to work on, as you can see, a very disorganized bass box. So I've got some sex dungeons here.
He'll walk by. He'll be like, "You think this will catch a bass? You think this will catch a bass?
Yeah.
You think this will catch a bass?" I'm like,
That's right. That's what she does. So this is what we're going to tie to next week. Very simple. Throw it in the vise here. Oh, let's put this one in our giveaway box. It's a very simple fly, very intro streamer for everyone. But this is just oh my gosh, sorry guys. Name that fly. Come on, who can do it? It's not a big deal. Katie's gonna get it almost.
There we go.
Oh boy. Fluff it down like this. There you go. Perfect. So this one we're going to pull out some deer hair, some marabou. That's good enough. A little flash. So all this is marabou, deer hair, some oh gosh, flat braid. So this is flat braid here. Hook and a bead. I'm sure I'm forgetting something. Thread. A little marabou muddler. And I once again can't see comments, so I'm sorry, but some marabou muddler. That's what we're going to tie next week. And time big, time small. We'll the fun part's gonna be tying the wing and Tinsel collar on, but this is not a big deal. Pretty easy to tie. There we go.
It's kind of tequila-ish.
There you go, Steve, a marabou muddler. You guys can stop in Pennsylvania and fish with us on your way to. We're not going to New York. We're going to Montana.
Like, like Western America, like Colorado. Not quite California, but really close, like that way.
Get this in the camera a little more. So we're going to Denver. We're flying into Denver for a work meeting that I have. And then we're going to, there we go, it's a little better. And then we're going from Denver to Salt Lake City and then up to Idaho. And then, Montana. Maybe
we should go to, maybe this is a sign we need to go East Coast.
Well, we'll see how the RV thing goes and works out well. We'll go up, we'll go everywhere. So Marabou Muddler is going to be on the menu. Next week, we'll do different colors, throw different things in here. As you can see, this has got a little crystal flash in there. Good all-around simple fly to have in the box.
That'll be fun next week.
Kind of change in pace. Yeah, that's what we could do. Whip Finish Wednesdays all across the United States and just stop off in people's backyards and be like, hey, we're here. I like it. But guys, thank you so much, Bill. Appreciate it. Patrick, next year, absolutely. We're working maybe going to Ireland, but if not, we'll be up there for the symposium at the very latest. College game day, the tour. Yes. But guys, I just want to say thank you so much. If everyone on Instagram, thank you for hopping on. Lid Reg, you got to come over and check us out on YouTube. That's where that's where the party's at. And everyone on YouTube, thank you so much. We really appreciate all your support. Love all the little shout outs and y'all sharing everything to your story on Instagram. That means a lot to us. Once we get to the next level, once we get to 600 subscribers, we'll do this giveaway with the coffee from Angler's Coffee, the fly box from Umco that's loaded with the flies we tied the past few weeks, $25 gift card to Gary Barnes, and the Hungarian partridge skin from Smitty's fly box. So we'll probably split that up into a few winners. So we just like giving it stuff away to different people. Helena, thank you so much. Hope Howie's having a good time over there with you. Thank you, Patrick, Christine, Chris, Steve, 562 and counting. Cool. So guys, appreciate it. Y'all have a wonderful week. We will see you next Wednesday night for the Marabou Muddler. Grab your stuff and let's get to tying. We look forward to seeing your Leggy Kates this week. Use hashtag Whip Finish Wednesday. Take it away, Katie.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Bye.